There we go. Can you guys hear me now? Oh man, I've been talking this whole time and nobody can hear me. Ooh, that's rough. Okay, well, I guess so. This was just a style update because people had asked for it, so I'll try to jam it in now. I, there's no way. Okay, off the top, what I was saying is there's some of these that we'll be doing. There's I think three of these Patreon commissions that we're wrapping up tonight. So this could be a couple hours or a few hours until we're done. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing this. We're going to around this level here. What I was saying quickly about style because people were asking about Patreon, asking this on Patreon, and I don't make as many YouTube videos as I did before, so I gotta update whenever I can make videos. But this here I call the JESOP style. We're sticking with that because of the speed that it gives me, and this look here. I generally color my stuff, so I generally get a positive feedback on the color work, which is good because I actually enjoy doing this a little bit more than worrying about spot blacks and all this kind of stuff. This has a more comic book look, I would say, where this has a little bit more of a, I don't know, fun animation pinup style. And I enjoy this with the intent of creating more and more and more as opposed to fiddling with style too much. And we'll talk a little bit more. I've been thinking a little bit more and more about the comic stuff, and I think pinups and chibis and that kind of stuff is probably the way to go. Okay, so we got these two dudes. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to. I still got to do the costume, so we'll put that down here and we'll wait for this. Uh, these are two custom characters too, by the way. I got to remember what I haven't said and what I already said that the mic wasn't on when I was already talking about this stuff. But these are custom characters, so you guys probably won't know who they are. But these guys, whoops. This guy grows. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cheese this. Actually, here, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to be duplicating these to make the like that classic giant man Ant Man look. So we're gonna have that there, and then this speedster looking guy. I know he looks pretty stiff. We're gonna add like some speed lines. Hopefully, that'll be enough for Patreon. These are like $10 a month. I think is it 10? Yeah, it's 10. So I gotta be careful with my time. Like I try not to spend more than an hour, and it's usually a character. So you gotta do some nips and tucks. You know what I mean? And I'll say hi to Lyle again. Stop. Welcome. Reed. Welcome. I said hi to all you guys already, but you know, since I don't stream as much as I used to, the technical difficulties they'll creep up. Oh, they'll creep up. Don't you worry about that. But welcome, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, so what I said before is I usually start with I've been doing this every now and then. I don't do this all the time, but the silhouette stuff, I like to use it more for composition. Sometimes complex shapes. I don't like to really worry about all the outfit stuff. I think it's a waste of time personally. So I'll pick the one that I like, blow it up to what we're gonna use here, and then just quickly throw on volume. You know what I mean? Like you could tell what this is. All we need on top of this is style, and however you like to draw, right? So we just lower it again, and then just break it down. And this is all we'll need to go into final artwork here. But we're gonna make another layer. We're gonna turn that sucker red, and we're gonna throw on some costume. This is the fun stuff. And you know what I'm gonna do? Just for myself, I'm gonna just group these up into their own things. Just makes it a little easier. There's gonna be some layers in here. Okay. So now I got my basic structure down. How's this guy drawn? Okay, it looks like he's kind of got like a cyclops visor a little bit. He's got like some funky stuff there. And here I'm just going to mask and just erase. Mask is good if you guys don't know. You probably can't see this on the screen because it's cut off with all the crappy ads on the side. But you can always turn your mask on and off. So that way, all the artwork that you're already doing, you don't have to worry about losing. It's always good. All right, put this here, and then he's got, okay, so he's kind of got like a traditional haircut. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of slick it back a little bit, and this hopefully will give us I'll be able to play with the motion here. most of these superheroes, you know, everything's spandex, right? So you don't really get a lot of leaves or things that you can, or sorry, what I try to do is think of things like leaves or breeze or things you can kind of dress the character up to help give them motion because they don't have it traditionally. You know, it's all anatomy, right? It's all spandex. So you gotta add motion where you can. All right, this is coming down like that. He's got like these love handle things that kind of come in like that. I'm taking some liberties here with the costume too. I'm trying to simplify it up. Because sometimes, man, like, I could tell this character's made from a video game. His costume's not too over the top, but it's got some stuff in it that would just be annoying to draw over and over again in a comic book. Okay, so I'm just going to make a pattern here. Where's that go? Right there. Okay, so go here. I think it's coming down to... No, okay. So it goes there. There. Just clean that up. And I think that's it. How's his neck go? He's got like a round thing here. And it looks like it's like a giant face mask here. So, coming up. And I like to add this, like when I draw Cyclops and stuff. Sometimes people let the chin go through. I like to just add it there because, like, we won't be coloring this. But if we were coloring it, by doing that, it gives us, like, you know, like if all of the, if all of this was red, just to show you, right? Like it looks cool. It gives it just a little bit of a house, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. I'll go there, and I don't know. We're gonna have to do something here with like this kind of stuff. All right, so that guy's done. What I'm gonna do too is grab white and go up to direct line, lasso fill, and I'm gonna do this gray just so I can see it. I've been doing this with my selections lately. Just going like that, like over all of it. Make sure all the lines are quickly closed. Looking good. Usually when I'm breaking stuff down at this level, it's pretty thick and there's like a billion lines. So it's not a problem. Like that. Okay, we'll go there. We click back here. And we're going to use our paint bucket tool, but this little icon here, it basically erases stuff. So I just click, right? Now we've got our sweet silhouette. Or knockout layer, like I like to say. So when we have this guy, right, if I just put him on top, no matter where I put this guy, he's always going to block out what's behind him, which is great. So I'll turn him off. We'll go here. We're going to do the exact same thing we just did. The costume for this guy. Hey, Skull, how's it going? So awesome to see you streaming again. You're getting better with coloring in Clip Studio. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thanks, and I'm glad you're getting better with the coloring. Could be a little tricky. It's not quite like Photoshop, right? It's got its differences. But yeah, no, it's great. All right, this guy at least has his eyes, which is cool. Let's get a mask on that. This guy's got the same kind of thing. So the same kind of mouthpiece. It looks like he's got like a head thing going on. And he's got some ear things going on, you know, superhero stuff. All right, we're going to erase in that mask. And when I say mask, if you don't know, it's like a clipping mask, not the mask of the character. He's got some cool shoulder things. Alright, so this is going right here. Got a cool belt. It's like a chrome belt. Again, I don't know if I already said this because I got like a million things going on in my head right now. But we won't be coloring this. So some of these effects we'll just have to quickly do with a gray pass. there. And then he's got like these cool gauntlets. Metal gauntlets. Just wrap them around like that. Hey Jojo. What's up, JESOP? Yeah, move the office around so the cats can't, they don't have a spot where they would normally go, so this will be interesting. Okay, so we go there, got everything we need. Okay, so like I said, what I was going to do is, hopefully this works. So we got that. We're going to duplicate him. Make him grow. Actually, before I do that, I'll make a knockout layer. I apologize for the sniffling, you guys. There we go. Hey, Jojo. Go here. Make sure all the lines are closed. So I don't have the chat open right now. I will in a second once we get to actual doing the line art here. I need to look at the reference, and I'm running out of monitors. But just out of curiosity, how many people here, and if you're watching the recorded version too, please leave a comment. Right, when I do the chibi stuff, do you guys have any interest in that? Do you guys get any value out of that? Because I'm going to be ramping up. I'll call it ramping up production. But ramping up that stuff. I'm going to try to do maybe one a month. That's doable. Hopefully you guys see what I'm trying to do here. We're going to just do some simple line art. We're not going to redraw this guy like this, but that should be enough. And we'll get some perspective lines we're going to do here. But yeah, I'm going to try to do a chibi a month, we'll say. I know there's a few people that have purchased stuff on my Etsy, which is cool. I always appreciate that. Cancel. I'm just putting these in here as some guides here, just so I don't forget. Yeah, so what the hell am I saying, guys? I apologize, I'm all over the place. Sometimes it's hard to talk and do this all at the same time. Okay, we'll go like that. I think I'm going to lower the opacity here. But yeah, so right now I'm working on Galaxies in Peril. Actually, I'll show you guys that real quick. This is pretty much the majority of my time right now. I'm working on comic pages of all things. Here, I'll show you guys 2 pages. Whoops. You guys haven't seen me do comics in a while, eh? Yeah, so we got this stuff going on. I got to do the inks for this. Inks go pretty quick, for me anyway. Page 2. Still some rough kind of going on there, but it's all drawn up. And I know this has no context for you guys, but this is what we're working on. I got to finish up this 3rd page here before we go into colors and all. This is like a lot of work, man. Obviously, right? Like doing a full page and then going into color, so it takes some time. But I'm working on getting the... one second. But yeah, we're going to be working on, like I said, the chibi stuff. I think it'll be a nice little spice. Looking at ways to... Comics right now seem really weird. There's so much going on in the world of comics that it's hard to get interested, to be honest with you. Skull Diamond doesn't mind the chibi stuff. Thanks, Randy. If you guys find comics weird right now, especially if you're on Twitter or anything like that, or social media in general, it just seems like there's so much going on. It's just not, I don't know. It seems difficult. Not that it shouldn't be, but like, it just seems like there's so much going on that it's not. I don't know. I don't get enjoyment at talking about comics anymore. That might just be my problem for even looking at comics, right? Just worry about making them. Don't worry about what's going on. Okay, so what we're doing now is apologize for the sniffles. We're doing the tight line art. And one of the reasons that I enjoy the JESOP style here, which is, I guess I would say, my traditional digital way of working, is it's just so streamlined. You know what I mean? Like, I generally know the results I'm going to get. You don't have to be careful about every line. When you get an inking, you can fix so much of it. Rotate it here just so I can see it a little different too. I kept a record. If you guys remember this, when we were doing JESOP King, the actual webcomic, I had made this like time tracker in Google Sheets. And what it was because I was very interested in knowing how long it took me to do a full page, because I felt by having that information, it let me make better decisions. You know, like I could look at how much time I had after work to put towards the project, right? So like, let's say it took you, I don't know, 20 hours to do a full page. Then, and I had to do 3 pages a week, and that's 60 hours, right? And the benefit there is, by knowing that, I'm able to schedule my weeks better. Knowing, okay, well, if I pick up any commission work or anything, 60 hours is already taken away from doing my own webcomic kind of thing. And what was cool about that is those pages were taking me, man. Like, if I look back, I think it was 5 to 8 hours a page, which is pretty nuts. And to be fair, there weren't a lot of like city backgrounds or anything that would kill you. The designs are always pretty simple too. But just reinforced to me that this is, just keep going, man. Just keep doing this stuff. It's working. I think after a while you're drawing the same thing over and over again, you can kind of get stale. And I think that's the trick, is changing what you draw, maybe not necessarily how you draw all the time. You see how fast I'm just zipping through this stuff? I've drawn these poses like a million times, though. So that helps boost up that confidence, too. You know what I mean? Anyway, what have you guys been up to? Hey, Marshall. Welcome, man. What are you guys all doing right now? Any guys got any projects? What are you guys doing to relax? Let me actually, so I can still read the comic, or the comments. Let me just bring my reference down here. There we go. Okay, how does this guy go again? Right. So here we go. Go here, and this is going up there. Cool. Okay, got that. I think what I might do for this, Marsh is drawing a crazy rabbit playing a bitch. So random, man. I love it. This is supposed to be metal, but yeah, screw it. We'll render it metal when we get to it. I was thinking of adding like some, I call them lips, but it's like little divots and stuff to make it appear more 3D. You know what I mean? But we might be able to just get away with it with some heavier line weight. Okay, so he's done. What we'll do is we just, again, make sure all these Frank, man, lines are all closed up. Yeah, so what'd you guys think of the Batman trailer? I thought that was awesome stuff, man. It actually looks like one of my favorite Batmans, man. Just the design and everything. The stills and the actor they picked, I was definitely in the camp of, I don't know. But see it in action, whoo, baby. That's some hot stuff. Should probably do some fan art at some point for it if I ever get some time. I think it'd be cool. Like the cowl, he actually looks like a slick, nimble Batman too, man, which is real cool. Okay, so this is gonna look very similar to like the last step we just did, right? So we're gonna make a selection around it. I'm gonna run my action. I don't even know if you guys can see these things. It just makes a knockout and a KO there. Actually, let me look at my stream. I don't even know what you guys can see anymore. Yeah, all my secrets are hidden because of the ads. Basically, what this knockout lets me do here, let me just kind of move it around. It's just a quick shape around him. I could leave it like this, or the main one of the main functions here too, right? Is like I can fill it in, and we can really look at the outline on this guy. Holy crap! But it's just a good way to start inking. And what I like about it is what I've always liked about this, excuse me, is that it lets me focus 100% first on story. So whatever's in the foreground gets a thicker, bolder outline than what is further away. Not everybody likes doing it that way too, and that's cool. I just try to do that myself just for clarity. Clarity over what like I think I like for over sorry, clarity over what I think looks cool. And a lot of the times, man, like I probably way too much. All right, so I guess this is the guy we're drawing next. Let me just minimize this. I'm trying to merge these browser windows. Go. No. Where'd you go? Need to get like a third monitor. Just make it a bat cave in here. Okay, there we go. Let's bring it back. Skull Diamonds coloring and lettering their metal comic heavy saga, Planet Metal. Whew. I like that. I just like whenever I hear anybody talking about making metal comics and stuff, it's good shit. Fast, 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 fast. Looks better with the closed mouth, I think. And this one, he's got pupils going. I don't know if we're gonna. Maybe we'll keep them in. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, we got a couple more to go. Actually, I think one of them is was it a Digimon of all things that I got to do? Let me see. Oh no, it's okay. So it looks like I've got two to do. I might have a third one. I got to double check to make sure I'm not missing any of the patrons here. But it's an Animal Crossing character. That's gonna be. Like, I mean, we're still gonna draw it this like this, but I don't know how that's gonna turn out. That one I might toss color on. Like I've said, and I apologize too, because a lot of the stuff I'm re-saying because I forgot to turn on my mic when we started streaming. But I do like to add color to people that have been supporting for a while. You know, it's just little thank you, little extra juice. I think that might be a reasonable character to add that kind of thing to. You know, it's more of a cartoon character. Okay, what I'm gonna do with this too, if you guys see these giant patterns for the costume, we're gonna run another little secret, not a secret. What the hell am I talking about? A trick. That's a better way of saying it. And I'll do a shameless plug too. If you're interested in buying them, you can actually where I got the method for this stuff, and I haven't really said it in a while. My God, it's been that long. But the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawn Comics by Freddie E. Williams. I think if you go to freddyart.com, I made all of these available for purchase there too. If you're interested, you don't have to be. It's all cool. But why I brought it up is if you get that book, all the things that I do here is talked about there. That's where I pretty much learned a strong foundation from. What I consider a strong foundation for this kind of style of artwork. But what we're going to do is it's basically turning your line art into a drawing. Is that a right way of saying it? I guess you'll see in a second. And I don't mean to make it sound more amazing than it is. But it definitely saves time. At the cost of legit artwork, I guess, like actually drawing it. Right, let's get this guy's. Go. Sometimes in my head when I'm drawing this stuff, I'm just thinking faster, faster, faster. Because it's very easy to get stuck with, like, oh, is that enough anatomy or is that line art right? You know? Oh, one sec. We gotta get the cat. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of like pauses, ups and downs and stuff. I gotta get the cat's coming in, and I moved the room around, so he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He's used to being able to get to a window, and he can't do that anymore. Yeah. I should say too, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to jam them in the chat. I know we're doing a. I'm trying to hammer out some work here, but just like in the old videos, if you guys have a question or you need some help with anything, feel free. I'll do my best to help. Hey, Jojo, here. What if I move this and you just lay right there? How's that work? Does that give you room? I know you want to hang out. So what I'm doing too here, if you guys look, like you see how I just cut off his abdomen altogether? Remember, this guy's got a knockout layer. Meaning when I move this guy around, he'll destroy any artwork that's behind him, which is great. So knowing that, you don't have to draw full characters. I used to, when I first started working this way, I used to draw everything a character had, just in case I wanted to move somebody. And what's really cool too, and the process here too, just to reiterate to you guys, is normally how I like to work with this stuff. It's like a comic oriented sort of workflow. I like to work like a factory. I know it takes the romantic part out of comics and, you know, I guess the creation of art. But what I like about it is it just moves things along and it keeps process. Like it just keeps hammering things out. You don't gotta dwell on certain things. But once you get the line art, the idea here is to do a few pages of lines or like whatever you're comfortable with. I generally for comic books I like to do three pages. Tonight we're just going from one image to the next, from start to finish. It's just more for my sanity to get the things done. But what's cool about this is what it lets me do is, let's say I was doing just the line art tonight, and let's say I was doing the inking tomorrow. Well, I could do all the line art tonight, and then once I come back to inking, right? Like let's say it's this, and I go, you know what? The composition's a little janky. I think I feel better with him more in the center. It lets you do that, right? It gives you that flexibility as opposed to just drawing this, figuring all that out at the pencil stage. Like I can tell you right here what I'm going to end up doing. I'll probably do it right now to show you. See how his hair is causing all these like tangents, or they just seem to stop at the anatomy there. I'm just going to fix that right now just by doing something simple like that. But you see how it opens up another can of worms over here? So what we'll do is I'm actually going to take this guy and I'm just going to shrink him a little bit. And I'll adjust some of this with once we get into inking as well. There we go. That's better. But you see what I'm saying? Like that kind of flexibility is huge. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Sniffle City, man. Okay, so let's do the secret stuff I was talking about. Alright, so we're going to make a brand new layer. And what we're looking for is I'll run the action so you guys can see it. What I'm going to be doing is, let's say this big circle shape, we're going to look for like a big fat thing like that. And just put my action, and it makes the lines, is basically what I was trying to say earlier. And I don't need them that thick. So we're going to do one here. One here. He's got a belt, but we can't really see that anymore. Alright, so we're going to run that. There we go. Okay, so he's done. And like I say, we'll always be fixing stuff up as we go when we get into inking. Okay, so we're going to make another layer here. I'm just going to grab my line art brush and just make sure all the dots are closed. The lines are closed, not the dots. And we're just going to look around. We're getting close to inking. That's where we want to be. Go. We Again, the idea is to get these wrapped up in an hour. This one's going to take a little bit more because there's 2 characters. Generally, I like to do just one. Okay, hey Jojo, you wanna? I wish you were a lap cat. You could just sit on my lap. Here, wanna come over here? You're falling. Gotta make a decision. Okay. Okay. You gotta get out the keyboard. Marshall, do you plan on selling prints or more or less your chibi style stuff? I'd especially love prints of your digital characters. Thanks, man. Okay. So here, let me just close this here. I wish I could send you guys a picture of how much space I don't have. Not room for a cat. Okay, you gotta move, buddy. You can't. You're gonna there you go. So do you plan on selling print? So the prints I have, yeah, right now they're all chibi stuff for the most part. I have a few that aren't, but they're 11 by 17 and they're a little bit different. I think what I'm going to do, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because it does go in line with the chibi stuff, is Etsy's been great for selling prints, more so than any commission or convention I've ever gone to, which is huge. But currently, what I'm thinking of doing is, I know, so before the COVID stuff happened, or no, during that happening, and I guess temporarily lost my job. What I was doing is I was trying to figure out ways of, making money so that I could provide for the family, right? And I thought it was okay. This is the opportunity to start really pushing for comics, because what I do is very much in the vein of that kind of stuff, right? Then I was fortunate to get my job back, so the comic stuff got pushed to the side, which tends to happen, right? And now that I'm kind of, still working and I don't have the hours and the time anymore to be doing that kind of stuff, finding time to make a comic book is insane. I just can't do it. And I mean, my hat goes off to all the dads or the moms out there that are working full-time jobs and then they come home to do their passion project of a comic book. And what I got to be just very cognizant of and just aware is, like, I don't comics is something I enjoy doing, but I also enjoy, like, a board game and spending time with my fiance or my son, and what that does is it means there isn't you only get so much time in a day, right? You can't just, or at least I can't just work. Why can't I see this? What's going on? Oh, I see. And just being aware of that, I think, is helping me. What am I doing? Let's just duplicate this, dude. Gotta work smarter here. Alright, so we're gonna put him up here. With the inks, I'll clean this up. He won't look as much as he is right now, where it's clearly just a cut and paste. Anyway, so yeah, the comic stuff has just kind of been like, I don't know. There's not enough time in the day, and I mean, at the end of the day, if it was something I really wanted to do, this wouldn't be a discussion, right? It was more of that might be a way of making money. Since that's not in the equation anymore, I think it's in my best interest to keep drawing, of course, but prints are a wonderful way to just draw something. It lets you promote everywhere online, right? And then you also get to potentially make some money or some scratch on the side. And, I remember going to conventions and thinking, I never want to be a print artist. You go to a comic book convention and you're selling prints. What the hell? But now, I guess it's a little different. I look at it a little bit more different than I would have back then. Anyway, sorry. So to answer your question, yeah, the reason I keep going to the chibi stuff is because it's, out of all the stuff I sell, chibis are the ones that just seem to just do very well. But I have a Venom up there that I was selling with the art editions, and I want to get more of those. The art editions, I have a lot of fun in, and what those are is, it's like you get the print plus a drawing, like a custom drawing as well. That I have a lot of fun doing. So I think what my current direction is focusing more on that stuff as opposed to spending a lot of time doing a comic book. And this might sound gross, but like money's an important thing when you got a family, right? And there's not as much money in comics for me personally as there are in prints and commissions for people. So that's the way it's going to go. The cost though is I don't get to do my own thing. So we'll figure it out. I'm going to figure that out as I go. I guess I get to choose what to draw for myself. So there is a benefit there. Okay. Hopefully that answered your question. If it didn't, just let me know. Let me just do this. Okay, so I got my line art. They're all prepped. So we're going to start getting into some inks, my boys. So we're going to duplicate this. Duplicate the whole layer. Yeah, man. Or the whole folder. And then we're going to name this one inks. Okay. And what I'll do before we get into that is I'm just going to prep this. I know you guys can't see this. Here, let me put this over here so you guys can actually see what the hell's going on. So, right, so we've got our like how we kind of started. We got our lines, and then what I do is I just duplicate it, so now it's inks. It's literally the same, but I'm going to be deleting a bunch of these folders. The idea for this is so that you can always go back and, the art is non-destructive, meaning you can always go back and you don't lose anything. Ideally, what I would do is I would save file versions of this, so I would have this version roughs, this version tight line art, this version inks, this version color. That way, if something gets corrupted, you always got a version you can go back to, right? And it's a great habit to get into because if it hasn't happened to you, eventually it will happen where you're going to get nuked, man, and you're going to lose some time. Your file's going to get corrupted or it's not good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's turn this one off. This one I'm going to mask, and I'm just going to grab like a extra large inking. And whoops, sorry, eraser, that's what we want. I'm just going to erase around this guy. And again, this is non-destructive, right? So, and I'm doing this on a mask, so if I turn that mask off, it's still there. So, I could draw back in lines and stuff that I want. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to break up the lines around him. Hey Jojo, what's up, Papa? You want out? Okay. 1 second, champ. Skull Diamond question related to Clip Studio. When I finished my penciled and inked Bristol page and scanned it, do I open a new comic file and preset or itself after scanning? Do I open a new comic file? Huh. I'm not quite sure what you're asking, my man. Sorry, are you like asking once you get the file, do you just like, I guess if this is what you mean. So for me, I have a whole bunch of different settings and stuff, right? Let me just open this one. This one's 10 by 15. Normally people draw on 11 by 17 Bristol, but I think what people forget is the crops and the live marks brings it down to 10 by 15. And why that's important is because that's really, if you're working digital, that's all you need. The 11 by 17 just gives you room to write things around it. But what you would do is you would take your artwork that you scan in and you would paste it into just the file that you have that you need. If you need to know the crop marks and stuff, yeah, you would just put it in that. Oh man, I'm coming down with something. Alright, so we're just going to keep doing this here. So you guys kind of see what I'm trying, like the idea of what I'm trying to do here. Try to break up the artwork so it's not so, in your face, I guess. All the line art down there doesn't make sense since he's shrinking down. Let's get rid of all that. Oh, apologize for all the sniffling, my friends. There we go. Okay, cool. And then we're going to need some, like, motion blur. So we're going to start with this guy. Okay, so I'm going to say this is ready to go. Let's delete that. And get all these layers. We're going to merge them together. And going to rasterize that. Okay, so let's get a ruler first. Nice perspective ruler. And maybe something like that. So it looks like he's kind of coming from off panel somewhere. Now, I don't want to destroy the guy behind me, right? Like, it's important to still see him. So what we might do here, this is going to take some creative figuring out here. Maybe we'll get a... we'll go like this. Like, he's going to get covered up no matter what, but... Man, whatever I got, it's kicking in now. Sorry for all the sniffles, man. It's got to be pretty gross. Sometimes it's nice to just get your special effects, I call them, in now, before you start worrying about all your inking and all that. But I'm going to add some, like, whoops, some dust or something. Just to help give it a little bit more motion. I like to zoom out with this stuff because I feel like the brush gets a little thinner this way. Alright, so we're going to go underneath that and we're going to draw in white. I'm just going to break up some of this stuff here. I think this guy's whole hand probably should just get lost for the most part. Hey, thanks, Lewis. Appreciate that, man. Okay. There we go. Clean up some of these lines here. Alright, now I'm going to hide this perspective ruler because it can be a little pain in the ass to see. Cool. Yeah, I guess. Sometimes this stuff's a little bit hard to do. You know what I mean? Like, I will say, I do feel like sometimes when I work this way, a lot of the decisions you got to make, they can get a little, okay, well, if you're doing all your line art first, how do you make room and time, I guess, for special effects like wind moving and all that? I'm going to just duplicate my window and just move it off screen here so I can see it shrunk. This just helps me see what details matter. Since we're not really doing spot blacks, what I like to do with this is line weights. It's really all you need to do. I'm going to make a new layer here. I'm going to go monochrome. Go brush pen. No, not brush pen. We want where is it? Is it brush pen? Yep, it is. Okay. This just lets me get some texture. Don't use this for everything anymore, but it does get some more organic shapes in there. Cool. Okay. Let's go back, get our inking. Be right back, my friends. Cat again. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try to lift my desk here. So if the stream dies, that's why. Keep this here. Okay. Come on. This could be bad. I guess we hope for the best. Okay. The cat might come back, but at least I gave him a chair. Hey Nimrod, how's it going, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, let's get back to drawing. One second, guys. All right. We moved the whole room around, so the cats are running out of places to go. Okay. Normally, too, the other thing I forgot to say to you guys, I know because there's people that love process stuff, is I normally do a quick version of where the lighting will go. But for speed's sake, and I shouldn't say for speed's sake, but because it really doesn't take that long. But I'm just going to go with a simple, like top left, like the light sources here, coming down here. Hey JW, how you doing, my man? Let's try a larger brush. So you see there's like a tangent there. So I want to get rid of the shape. Just draw through it a little bit. Should read a little bit better. Same with right there. Oh, thanks, man. I would say we're sticking with what you're looking at right now, but my track record usually craps all over that. I'll do my best to stick with this. One of the things that helps with the speed too, I'm sure you guys are seeing, and I've had feedback from other artists too that don't care for it, which is cool too. But if you see, or if you notice here, let me show you how kind of sloppy this line art goes. You see the lines we already had? Let me just turn the inks off. You see like this line here, and like these three dashes that I'm building up for form, even down here. Once we get the inks on there, you see how like I'm even missing those lines? What I used to do back, I'll say back in the day, but like a couple, maybe even more, maybe 3 years ago, maybe two. I used to undo every line just to make sure that if I was adding line weight to a line, that it was on that line. But then, for me anyway, what I figured out was it could be a style thing to draw over the lines, be a little sloppy with it, right? But like a couple things. One, the average reader, I don't think notices. I've asked a few people that are just casual. They like looking at art, but they don't draw. You know what I mean? And they don't even notice. That's the first one that's super important. Is the people I'm doing this for don't even really notice. Notice in a way that they think that that's a mistake. So that tells me that it's more the artsy fartsy side of me, where it's like, I know it shouldn't be like that because that's what you're kind of taught it shouldn't be like, if that makes sense. And then the other one was, it's like, well, the speed of just throwing in those chunky things is whatever, but once you get into doing like coloring, like that stuff disappears. Like for me anyway, I've noticed, especially once things hit shadow, or who knows, like the lighting you're gonna put on something, right? Like you don't even notice it anymore. At least I don't. And the feedback that I got from stuff was like nobody was really paying attention. And when I say feedback too, because I think some people might get some value out of this. If you're working with somebody, I mean, you could ask art friends. I would ask art friends sometimes, man. Like if you're genuinely looking to like improve as an artist, yeah. But there's some things I think asking artists you're probably better off not doing. Because I think a lot of us were stuck in the mindset of like, oh well, pecs are drawn this way. This is how anatomy works, right? So when you start adding your own little style or something to it, instinctively a lot of artists they'll just like, and they don't mean it in like a ill will. They're not trying to run you down. They're just trying to help. Of like, well, you need to study anatomy because this looks this way and yada yada, right? Um, but the people you're probably making the art for, right? Like if you're trying to draw, let's say superhero comics or something. I mean, I don't. My experience has been like a lot of people, a lot of those cats, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They just like art. They like a certain style or a look, right? So it's like this weird balance of drawing how you're supposed to draw, like what the anatomy books or what other artists, myself maybe have told you, or other people, like to improve as an artist, like how lighting works and rendering and all this kind of stuff. And I do think it's important, but yeah, I just found by drawing, I don't say, again, sloppy might not be the right word, but being so anal as like trying to make sure that each line fits a certain way, or that to make sure that it's connecting in a certain way that it's supposed to. I was like, nobody was even giving me the feedback on that. And that's where I started going like, okay, so the worries, I suppose, that maybe some artist friends, or other people that I look up to would suggest, actually wasn't even on the radar of people that were paying me for work, if that makes sense. So and the only reason I'm saying that is not to gloat or anything like that. Just trying to offer some advice to make sure that you're still moving forward on stuff. And I find with digital especially, because you can undo a million times, is like not to get so maybe invested on making sure lines are perfect. Because if it is only ink, like if I was only leaving it like this, maybe I would do a little something, maybe. But if it's just gonna go to color or like add a layer of shade, which we will do, it doesn't even matter, man. At least it's been my experience, and I hope you guys get the same. I'd hate to tell you that, then you guys do it, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Nimrod, how's yeah, everybody's good, man. Thank you. How are you guys? Any luck with the house finding and stuff? Hey, Peter, how are you, man? How's everything on your end? I know you're still jamming away on the comic game. That's great. Jules, it's good to see you. Thank you, thank you. Woodard is saying, yeah, sometimes it's just artists giving their opinion and not really looking at the art as your style. I had an artist tell me I need 2 years of life drawing. A week later, I landed my first cover. Well, congratulations on that, my man. That's all that matters, right? If you're able to find some work, and that's all that you need to worry about. Like, I was stuck in that mind stuff for a while, man. I think even when I was just before I started doing Jessup King a few years ago, I was very much like undo happy, man. Like, I would just undo things all the time, and then I would slap color on it, and I was finding out that I was like my own worst enemy. I'm like, I'm slapping color on stuff that doesn't even matter. Or no, I'm rendering, sorry, like I'm fixing lines that don't even matter. Like, they just don't. And the people that do, I find, look at it like you want like the perfect product, we'll say, right? Like somebody wants a perfect cover, we'll say, and I send them something, and it's like, okay, well that line's a little off, but when it gets printed, you don't even see it, so it's sort of like that. And I understand it. Like if you want to send something out there for people to see, you want it to be representative of like your, your high quality work, like what you're capable of. You want it to be perfect when it looks that way, right? But if other people are getting their hands on it, meaning they're gonna throw color or whatever, it gets washed a lot. And even if you're throwing your own coloring and stuff on there, it's going through a lot of hands. Now, that's the case. Like, perfection doesn't make sense to me because you're gonna have so many chances and opportunities to go on there and fix it, air quotes again, over and over again. So it's like just keep, as long as it's done, just keep going. Okay. Hey, Ken, how's it going, man? How you doing? I hope you are well. Jules, I haven't seen a stream of yours since you drew. Oh man, wow. Okay, I've definitely done some videos since then. Not as much now that we got a little boy. Taking a lot of time, in a good way. But I don't have the availability of just hitting stream as much as I used to. Sorry to hear that, Nimrod. Hopefully it'll pick up, man. Yeah, Marsh, yep. Artists get too caught up in the craft sometimes. I agree. And it's good. I mean, like, I don't want to crap on fellow artists. I'm one of you guys. I try to help people, and I'll probably give, like, advice that, like, counter to what I'm saying right now, or just, like, ignore it. You just want to help people, right? But just take it with a grain of salt. That's good to hear, Peter. Jules, you want to see Canon and me collab on Dude, Canon, do you have any of the I was about to say, yeah, the Enter Void days. I don't know if I have. Here, let me see something here. Let me see for a second. Canon and I, we used to go to a site, and I've talked about this every time, and I know Canon comes in, and sometimes when he's not here, I'll bring this up, but entervoid.com, I don't even know if the site's still up, but what you would do is you would make a comic book, like a character, like Street Fighter, right? You draw your character with the powers that they would have, then you'd have like a, and these were kind of dumb, but I think it was more of a to filter people out that weren't serious. But you had to draw your character in a win pose and a loss pose, just like in Street Fighter. And what you do is you challenge artists to anything. So let's say I challenge Canon or anybody to, like, let's say, okay, I'm gonna give you a deadline of 2 weeks, and it's a 5-page comic. So we would both say yes or no. If both people say yes, we would draw those 5 pages. At the end of the 2 weeks, they'd go up on the website. And then viewers, anybody else, readers, they'd go on there, they'd read both comics, and they would vote on which one won. And then whatever one wins by the most votes, like what people like the most, that became like the canon of the universe. So that's the story that had happened. Awesome potential. I know I was super young doing that, so I flaked out a whole bunch, but Canon was a trooper back then, man. I remember a lot of the stuff he did. He was definitely one of the, I would say, top tier echelon characters. Who else was on there? James Stoke was on there. Uh, I always say is Keenan Raff, Keenan something. He always goes by KR. I think he's working at DC right now. I remember he drew my character. We had a comic fight. Like there were people there, man. Uh, Gabbo, oh, I always call him Gabbo. He was on there. Like a lot of people, man. Let's see. Enter Void, Phoenix. Yeah, that's my guy. I don't know if I. Yeah, see, I don't have the old stuff. I just got here. I'll show you guys here. This is like this is what I'm talking about, right? So you'd have this. This is some older stuff. I love it. Actually, when was this? This is what's the date on that? 2011. But yeah, this is my guy redrawn. Obviously, this is when I started going digital for sure. So you'd have like your win pose or whatever, right? I don't even think I did a lost pose. I'll just be in a. Yeah, okay. All right, so this is like when this would have been when Cannon and I were here. That's how old this stuff is right here. There's my lost. It's some fun anatomy here, boys. It's good to know. That's good. That's good. And then this was this was like the redo version. So 3 years later, 2014. That's pretty recent. I think there's actually a video of the process for this. But there's no way I'd be able to maintain this kind of thing for Enter Void. That's for sure. It was just fun. Just fun stuff. But yeah, sadly, I don't have any comics on here. I don't even know if the website's still up. Marsh is saying something I agree with. Perfection is boring. Yeah. Jules got a serious idea for a comic. How do I flesh out the story before turning it into a graphic novel? You're asking the big questions, eh? Thanks, Nimrod. Kenneth saying I'm still up and thriving. Jay, still some of the most talented people I've seen. Yeah. New and innovative. You should check out. There's a Discord. Oh, so you're still part of there too, man? I got you back in the way. Yeah, okay. All right. Kenneth's always being a nice gentleman. That's what he's good at. You got a serious idea for a comic? How do you flesh that out? How do you flesh out the story before turning into a graphic novel? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a hard question to answer. I know it's gonna sound like a pretty lame reply. I mean, so I've got some videos that you could watch if you're so inclined of how I write comics or just stories in general, right? Let me just get my inking here. And generally what I do is I use note cards and I try to plot it or I don't know if I want to say beat it out. It sounds a little weird. But if I would argue, if you can figure out how, I mean, like, do you know how big of a comic you want to make? Like what your investment is in that kind of thing? I know when I'm doing the comic stuff, like I try not to think too much of how big it'll be. Just focus on getting it to a point where it's like, okay, well, at least there's a story here. If that makes sense. But I use something that I found from watching and reading a bunch of Doug TenNapel videos, where it's note cards, and I start with the beginning, middle, and an end, and I start with the end, because for me, and I got this from, again, Doug, in so many ways, but he has a wonderful way of describing things, and I recommend you go subscribe to his channel, or at least go read what he's doing. He's got a lot of this stuff that he's done since on his YouTube channel, but what I like to do is I need to know the end, because that's the story. That's the whole thing. Once I have the end, the start is usually it's the opposite of that. And I mean the very simple thing, and I always do this one, is if stealing was wrong, if that's the like message I was trying to do, or and I mean sometimes people just do comics because they drew a cool character and they want to just tell that character story. So this is a little bit different, but still I think it applies. So if stealing was wrong, at the end maybe you show your main character getting arrested. And then the beginning is opposite. And the opposite of that could just be literally showing your character stealing. And then the middle is like the twist. What's the change? What's the thing that happens to make your character either change their opinion or change the outcome of kind of what's happened. So it could be, a series of events of showing like people paying the price of him getting away with something like that. Maybe somebody loses their job because he stole like a loaf of bread from them, and that loaf of bread was the $5 they needed to keep their business open that month. That kind of stuff, right? And this goes a lot deeper than what the hell we're talking about. It's very hard to just riff off of something. But I think if you could boil it down to the smallest thing. Here, let me show you this real quick, just so I can help visualize this for you, okay? This is how I would look at something, okay? Is this enough? Okay, so I get 3 note cards. Beginning, middle, end. I start with this first, the end. Then I do the opposite for the beginning. And then the middle is, the conflict, or what is the thing, what's changed? What's changed for this to happen? Okay, and again, I always start with the end because that's the goalpost. That's the whole point of reading something. And that's just the way I like to work. So if you could boil your story down to this, the next thing I do is you do 3 more note cards for each. Okay? These are the worst circles you've ever seen, or squares. And each one of these is a beginning, middle, and end. And I do them the exact same way. I always start with this one first, the end, and then I figure out the beginning, the flip, then I go here, and then again I go back and do the change. If you could do it just to this, if you could boil your story just down to that, I feel like you could keep making note cards for each one of these things as many times as you want to fill how big of a thing you need. So if it's like a 150-page graphic novel, you probably need a few more of these than these. If it's just a 22-pager, this is probably all you need. If that makes sense. Oh, you did, Marshall? Oh, awesome, man. I'll definitely check those videos out, dude. I don't know who Luffy is. Oh, my God. All right, let's close this up. I really got to hurry this up, man. This is not supposed to be taking this long. All right, like I said, what I like to do for patrons here is I can't color everything. Just so many hours in a day, right? Come on, keyboard. There you go. So what I'll do is, I think I have, was I smart? I wasn't. Well, maybe I am. So what I'm going to do is since this is only gray, right? Actually, let me, 1 second here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the line art of the character at the back that's shrinking down. But what I need is, let me get my neutral gray. This is probably what we're going to be shading with. How dark is that? Might be a little too dark. Yeah, I think we'll go there. Okay, so if that's what we're doing, I'm going to start here then, I think. Let me see how that looks. Maybe. What if we go here? Yeah, that's better. All right. Okay, we'll go here, and I'm just gonna very gross draw the lines, or select them and fill them. And this is again the benefit of, like I said, working the way that I was taught, I suppose. That you can always go back and you can pick certain things. You can always build off of what you've already been doing. So you're not, I don't want to say wasting time, but you're not doing more work than you need to. So hopefully he fades a little bit more into the background there. Cool. So we're going to get this, turn that off. So we got our color, right? And what I'm going to do is we're going to merge all these layers. And now we can do some quick shadow. And then that's it for this one, and I think we got 2 more to go before we're going to bed. Ugh, it's one of those days. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom. Jerry, you got to enjoy the process more? What do you mean? What do you mean? I love the process. Just going a little quicker here. Make sure we kind of at least hit the planes of the form a little bit. And remember, what I like to do too with this stuff, guys, is so it's very cell shaded, right? So we're gonna use this to our advantage here. We're gonna use it comes stock with Clip Studio, at least so much that I remember. It's the watercolor brush, and what that lets us do is it lets us soften lines, so it looks like you kind of drew with an airbrush, and it just helps change up some of the lines so it's not all, I don't think there's anything wrong with I'll say what it's looking like right now, where everything's just solid, but it's a nice little, just changes it up a little bit. Hey Keeman, how you doing, brother? Never mind, I hate coming late. Looks like some of the cool stuff has been done. No problem. Well, I don't know if you're still staying on or not, but like I said, we've got a few more of these to do. So you'll be able to see right from the get-go once this part's done. Yeah, I've been doing great too, man. Thanks for asking. Alright, so this hand we're going to put way in the background, and we're going to cut out some light. Just simple. Just simple. Alright, so he's done. And I'll show you guys too. This is something else I've been farting around with. Actually, we'll do it after this part. No, we'll do it now. Normally, I'll save it till the end to do this, but just so you guys can kind of see it here. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate the shadow again so that I can always go back and see it if I need to change it or edit it. And we're going to go down, and I have it here. Where is it? Smooth watercolor. Now what you're looking for are like the things that are planes like this, not cast shadows. Cast shadows shouldn't be soft. They should be hard. Like this shadow coming off his nose shouldn't be soft like that. It looks weird. Like all of these. And this is just like a very quick, you can see I know the whole thing I'm doing here is pretty quick, but it just gives it a little oomph. Oh, something. We can soften these up too. We are sticking around? Awesome. Remember when we were doing the JESOP King stuff, you guys popping in and sticking around with me? That helps so much. Makes the time fly. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off and turn it back on so you guys can see the difference. It's very subtle. You might not even be able to tell, to be honest with you. Okay, so this is the thing that I've been doing here. So I'm going to make a layer. Actually, I wonder if this might work. Let me try this. Multiply. I'm going to pick the same brush. Not same brush, the same color. And yeah, it does. Awesome. Okay, so I forget who I saw doing this. It might have just been other anime artists or something. But it's sort of like drawing back over the shadow. It just gives it like a, I don't know how to describe this. Is it a Terminator? Is that what it's called? Or it's like it's the darkest before it fades into the actual shadow part. I think it's a Terminator. Keep it wrong. So it's called a Terminator. You know you're already in good company. And the other thing this lets me do, since I'm only working with really, I would say, a shadow and a highlight, is it lets me push things a little bit further back. And I've said this before, but I know not everybody listens to what the hell I'm saying or watches all the things I do, which, that makes a lot of sense, is that it's I'm trying to do a lot with less, right? Like I could spend a whole bunch of time rendering stuff out, right? Like that's one of the reasons we're doing the simple line art, letting a lot of the color do all the heavy lifting for us, right? So when I figured out or decided to add just one extra layer like this of shadow, it's kind of like it comes at a cost, because once you start, you gotta always do it, right? So just something simple like that. Maybe we'll keep it, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll keep it. I don't know. Hey Mecca, how's it going? Sorry, Keeman was asking, what's this commission? This is a Patreon commission. Normally it shouldn't take this long, but the problem was the last one I did for this gentleman, I screwed up on my end. So he already paid for 1 month, and what he got was not what he should have gotten. So, to make it right, we agreed that this month we'll do 2 characters. Normally it's 1 character. You'll see that the ones we do after this will be 1 character for sure. Normally I don't try to, it's not like, I just want to put a little caveat on there. I didn't try to screw this guy over or anything. It was a misunderstanding on my part. It was like a style question that I threw out, because this was when I was still kind of doing the Kirby stuff, I'll say. And what I had let my patrons know is, I try to be pretty candid with Patreon, people that are backing and all that stuff and supporting. That still trying to figure myself out with some of this new style stuff. I hate saying this, more and more and more and more, like style, like God, it's just so boring now. But since I was hopping around with chibi stuff and Kirby and all that, I felt like people that were on Patreon, they didn't know what the hell they were getting. Especially people that are doing this stuff where every month you get like a custom sketch, right, just for you. And I felt bad about that. So what I started doing was letting people know, okay, well, what style would you like? But then that started opening up a different can of worms that I wasn't really thinking of. So what I went ahead and did was my Kirby stuff. And this gentleman here, I don't know if he doesn't like it. That's fine, but it's not what he was expecting. He thought it was going to be this other style. So that's where I screwed up. So to make it right, like I say, I'm just doing 2 characters here for him. But anyway, so the other ones we'll do, they're going to be, and I'm going like this look going forward anyway, so there's not any more confusion, if that makes sense. Just gotta be careful what we're shading here, because all this stuff from the Speedster, right, I don't want to really put any shadow at all. And I forgot, I'm actually going to try to do this real quick here. I forgot to put a little bit of what I like to do. A little motion. Go here, we'll get that. Just for this guy, maybe it makes it look like, I don't know if it's wind or something. Just that he's got movement. Little debris. It always adds, I get this from, I always call it my Joe Mad. He's always got people running around with like debris and chunks flying around. Just adds a little bit of, little movement to a 2D object. I do this all the time, man. Will there be any gerbils? Not tonight, no. There'll be, the next one we're doing, I think, is a Animal Crossing character. That'll be interesting. Nimrod, dude, it's always awesome to watch you work. Oh, thanks, man. I do appreciate that. But Marsh loves my thank you, dude. Woodard likes it too. Thank you. If you ever create a gerbil creature, what will you name him or her? Oh man. Well, I know what I wouldn't name them. Anything related to a gerbil. I'm not a fan of like naming characters like Iceman. I don't think I'd ever name him Iceman. You might do something a little campy with the cold stuff. but like gerbil, right? Like I don't know, I try not to play into it too much. Okay, so like I say, this one's pretty much done here. Let's go down to our smooth watercolor, and we're just gonna smooth out some of these planes here. Tabbits, yeah. What in the hell am I doing? Got me thrown off here. Okay, we'll go there. Large inking. Cool. All right, and the last thing what I'm thinking, because they do kind of blend here. We gotta throw a signature on here, but what if? What if? How dark's this one? Let's go crazy dark. What if we do like a? Actually, hold on. This might work easier. So if I could just go like this. Bear with me, my friends. Bear with me. So we're going to make a selection there. And then we're going to airbrush in the darkness. The darkness. I just want to make sure it still looks like he's shrinking. That might be the way to go, this way. I don't like doing this that often, to be honest with you. Like gradients like this. So with color it works, but sometimes with this it's kind of a little, ugh, you know what I mean? But again, hopefully this part works here. So if we go down to lines, remember we made those selections and stuff already? And this is the beautiful part. Of working in stages like this is, oops. Oh, what the hell am I doing? It didn't even matter because they're not getting hit by it anymore. Okay. Anyway, what I was gonna do is an easier way to block those guys out. All right. I think we're gonna just use a quick lasso for this so we can wrap this up. This should just be a quick way of, again, showing a little bit of shrinking energy. I'm not being too precious about the lines. They don't matter. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we'll do another one over here. Okay, my friends, we're done. I don't want to spend too much time. Actually, that's a lie. Maybe what we'll do is we'll change this to some tone work. Yeah. That's good. I like that. There we go. Done. All right. All we gotta do now is put a signature on here. Boom, boom. We'll go black. Go here. What I started to do too. You guys might have noticed this in some of my stuff. Is just putting my actual last name. Doesn't look as fun. But I was thinking about it. Forget when. I'll put it over here. And one of the things about using jar like I usually do is people might not know who the hell that is. I don't know how you see my artwork, right? So I figure it probably makes a lot of sense to actually include my real name, or at least my last name, right? So people are interested in going, oh, search that. Rector might come up with something as opposed to jar. Jar comes up with who knows. You know what I mean? Cool. All right. I'm going to save it. And thanks, Peter. We're going to export it as a high-res HD thingy. 100%. Yeah. Go okay. And then we're going to export a web version. We'll do 1500. Boom. Cool. Okay, that one's done. And now, just let me move my Trello thing. All right. Next up is... Sorry that is not original character this time around, but I'm currently busy. Cool. This character's named Kat. She's from the newest Animal Crossing game, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. Okay. I don't mind what style you do, but it will be fun to see a fluffy version of her playing a guitar and singing. Oh, no. Okay. She could be really into it with music notes around her. Okay. She's got a disc on the back of her coat. Okay, we're not doing any of that, so it doesn't matter. Sorry for the sniffles, guys. I don't know what's got me so sick. Okay, let's close that. Bring that up. Okay, so we'll close this up, and we're on to the next one. This one is for Deviant and Delighted. There's a lot of cool ones for this person. I'll bring this one up. Okay, so we're going to delete all this stuff. Cool. I'm going to make a couple folders. This one's for the silhouette we're going to do, and then the rough, and then line art. Alright, you guys ready? I feel like I want to time this. I'm trying to get faster and faster with this stuff. So file, save as. What was it? Cat? What was the name of this character? I know you guys don't get this. Well, I'm assuming you guys could Google search this character if you want. Alright, so I just go real small with this kind of stuff. Keeman, Trello is the best way to keep organized. Yeah, man, that's what I like to use. Marshall, really cool. I'm running my banjo rabbit the same way in the grades. Oh, you are? Okay, right on, man. Okay, so this to me looks like it's going to be more of like in my chibi kind of style here. They got a guitar, something, get some ears or whatever. Again, these are just supposed to be quick bust shots, so I'm not going to go too crazy. I think what we could do is maybe get some lights, maybe they're on stage or something like that. Can be a little tricky to do creative bust shots, man. Maybe we kind of look down a little bit more. Get the guitar. Still get the light. What if we kind of put to the side? Get the guitar. I honestly think this first one's just the way to go. A little more on the simple side, but we could rotate it a bit. Sometimes that's all you got to do. Just keep it what people would think they get. I don't know. I kind of believe you don't have to always be the most creative person in the room with every single thing you do. Nimrod, are you still using the Pomodoro method? I am not, no. Now that I have a son, there's no way. Squaring away 25 minutes just doesn't happen. Usually it's like put him down for a nap and then, I don't know, hope you get some time. But the trick too, man, is like there's always stuff to do. Always stuff to do at home, right? Clean up and all that. Okay, so this character's eyes, right? Like they look like this. All right, and again, this is Animal Crossing, so it's going to be very stylized. So I'm thinking I'll probably bring some of that in there, but we're gonna still gonna draw in our own thing. And this is the thing, right? Like it's just bust characters, but when you're doing chibis, it's like the head takes up so much space anyway. Alright, I'll give her some hips here. It's gonna end up being a full body, I can already tell. Bring the legs out like this. What is it? Is she playing what's she playing? Just a guitar? Alright, what I think we're gonna do is maybe we could cheese this here. I don't like drawing guitars. I don't like drawing non-organic things. So let's see if Clip Studio is nice to us. Let's see if it's got a guitar. It does not. Bummer. Okay, well let's go over to boom, 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 boom. Clip Studio. Let's open you up. Let's see what the wonderful world has created for us. Let's log in. Yeah. See you, Woodard. Thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate it. Kovo, my man. Next time you should draw me like one of your French girls. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. I'm sure there's something dirty we could come up with. I got to message you this week too so we can catch up, man. Get to see the little lady. What do I got here? Peter, speaking of music, I wanted. Oh, Bill and Ted, was it good? What about holding the display tablet? They asked me, or they gave me what they want her doing, so I'm just gonna draw that. It's just her holding a guitar. But like I said, I don't like drawing guitars or cars or anything with straight edges. Does the guitar have a straight edge? I guess the neck. Okay, what the hell am I doing here? We're looking for, is it modeler or paint? Let's try paint. Okay, I guess that's not what we want. Clip Studio. I want 3D things. Manage material. I've never used this software before. How do I find things? What's going on? Modeler. Let's. Oh God, I'm not downloading anything. No. Okay, I've done this before. I swear, I've used this software. Am I in the... No, what? How... If anybody can help me out, that'd be great. I'm drowning here, man. File, Open Clip Studio. How do I get brushes? Why does this look so weird to me right now? No. Is it up here? No. What is going on? Paint. I thought Paint would open up Clip Studio assets. Here we go. Find brushes and more. Yeah. That's what we want. Oh, look at that loading. Okay. Guitar. Let's hope we spelt it right. Sweet. Oh, yeah. Okay, so see, look at this guy. That's great. Like, I'm literally just gonna rip off the guitar here, guys. So don't get too excited. So a lot of these 3D materials, they're you gotta pay for them. But some people, they're good homies, man. They put things out for free. I mean, I don't think this guitar makes sense for this cute character. But I like metal, so let's do it. Download right now. Download. Is it downloading? All right, let's rock and roll. All right, let's see. There it is. There we go, boys. Boom. Drop that sucker in. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right, so now we get to do a little bit of this stuff. Boom. I don't know how to use this, so I apologize. You guys are gonna get bored to hell. Oh, I'm looking. Can you flip? No. I need you to rotate. Can you? Oops. Alright, so we're just going to click off that. Maybe that'll work. Control T. No? Cool. Alright. Edit transform. Can you help? No? Cool. Alright then. Since we can't flip it, that doesn't make sense. Why won't it let me do that? Let me flip it. Whoa. Okay, well, alright, what we'll have to do here is pretend that this is where we want it to be. Maybe we'll point it up here a little bit. Because I'm going to have to rasterize it and then flip it, I think. Okay. Oh, Mother of God. 3D tools, man. I'm sure they're great if you know what the hell you're doing. Oh, there we go. Okay, we kind of got the... There we go. There we go. Okay, and the other thing we can do, and this is the part that I always get screwed up. So let me just open something here that I'm working on. Bear with me, my friends. It's page 3. Yeah, okay, we got some CG cars up here. Let me just turn up all this stuff. CG cars. Right here. What settings do we have? Yeah, you. Oh, right, okay. Because I always forget how, because we work with 3D tools that often in Clip Studio, so it's somewhere up here. It's edit, is it tonal correction, color? There's a way to just turn this into line art. Filter. Okay. What did we do with this one? Outline. How did we do this? I feel like I need to do this every day so it just stays inside my brain how to do this. Extract line? Is that the one? There it is. Literally a button. Good God. Alright, what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate this too. That way I can always go back and do if I need to adjust it. So we're going to rasterize that so I can finally actually rotate it horizontally. There we go. Cool. Right. Now, I don't know how the hell a chibi's going to play with this, but we'll figure it out. Actually, hold on. Maybe we won't. Maybe we can bring this down, rotate it this way. Whoa. Sorry, guys. This is like the crap part of drawing. What if we just do this? You like that? I like that. That's good. That's good, right? We'll go to multiply so we can see through it for a sec. Alright. And let's get back to drawing. Okay, so those aren't even hands that this character's got. Alright, we'll give him something up here. Big old Mega Man hands. There we go. And you gotta do the strum, right? Does that even make sense? What the hell are those hands doing? Maybe put a little pick in there or something. Okay, so we're doing a crossbody thing, so we'll go here with that, and then we'll get the hips. Alright, maybe something like this. We're gonna get some fancy light coming in or something. Put like a little spotlight. Alright, this character's got like these giant ass ears. Put those up. Kaboom. Alright, cool. That's all we're going to do for this. Guess we should probably put the costume on there, eh? That makes sense. Hey, see you later, man. I appreciate it. Hope all your artwork is going well too, man. She's got a jacket. And, okay, so maybe we can kind of figure out how we're going to do this. So her eyes are like this, I guess. She got a tail? Of course she got a tail. Alright, now tails are for composition. So what are we doing? We're not going to do something stupid like that. We're going to maybe bring the tail up here to point at the face. We all on board on that? Okay, bring this back over just a tad. Oh, we got the tail in there. Maybe we rotate it. Yeah, I think I like it like that. Boom. There you go. Get a little bit of an angle on there. Cool. Alright, guys. Cool thing here, because this is a raster object. We're going to duplicate that. Whoops, no we're not. No we're not. No we're not. No we're not. Yeah, we are. Put that in the lines. Put that on normal. And alright, so now I've got access to the guitar whenever we need it. What I'll do when we ink is I'll go back in there and kind of break it up a little bit so it doesn't just look like a total 3D object. It's just swiped. Even though. Okay. This is actually kind of funny. I know we were talking about chibi stuff in the beginning of the stream, so it makes sense that we actually do one, eh? I'm going to keep these weird eyelashes that this character has. Hey, Kovo, you still in here? I'm not sure if you are. If you are, how's the little one doing? And I'll draw the pupils later. Said a little bit more fluffy. That's what they asked for, so I'm going to make sure we get a little bit of some fluff. This will be good, some good practice for once we get back into the chibi stuff. The Gloomhaven stuff. I don't know if there's anybody in here that's into Gloomhaven, but that's been like my #1 seller, man. It's crazy. It's a board game too, and I think that's one of the spicy things about doing the chibi prints that I didn't really account for was like, I mean, well, maybe not this in particular, but just art in general, right? Like I've been, I don't want to say chasing, but pretending to dabble in, I guess. I don't know. Comics, right? And comics do well. Comics do really well. comic characters as prints, I should say. But just narrowing art down to just that, it makes sense that if I'm only attacking one hobby or one interest, that you're not like throwing a big net out, right? But the board game stuff has just been like dwarfing whatever I would do with comic book stuff. So it makes me really think that like this video game stuff too makes a lot more sense to start doing pin up some prints of that kind of stuff as well. She's good. She's passed out on me, so I can't move. That's great, dude. We're starting to talk about well, the discussion and the seed's been planted already to talk about number 2. So we're going to be talking about that probably this week sometime. Oh man. Alexander has this habit of he just puts his fingers in your mouth all the time, like like when he wants to go to sleep, or I think it's like a comforting thing. It's weird, right? It's always gonna be weird, but like I'm getting sick, man, like all the time. You would think the solution would just be like to tell him no, right? Like, stop putting your fingers in my mouth. And I mean this in the most wholesome way. I kind of enjoy it. Okay, so we got the tail there. It's probably a little weird to understand what's going on. Hopefully it'll clear up in a second. Yeah, I know, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I remember us talking before. It was like, well, yeah, probably 2. Probably 2 makes sense more than that. I don't know. I've never experienced that. I've never experienced 1, but 2 sounds right. You have the 1, and it's like the first, I'd say 6 months is just like I have no idea how you, why you would even consider having a second one. And then I think the weird part is it's like the brain does something to make you forget, even though you kind of secretly still remember, and you're like, yeah, you know, there's warning signs going off, going, don't do it, don't do it. But it's probably just like one of those things. Get it all out of the way as soon as you possibly can, and then it gets better later. Oh, doesn't that sound horrible? Who signs up for that? It's so ridiculous. You guys doing okay though? Everybody's doing the best they can, or what? Is it brutal? Is it not that bad? Did you get a good one? Just erasing some of the line art here. And again, remember guys, we're using clipping masks here. I know you can't see them, but that way, here, like if I turn a clipping mask off, see how it all comes back? It's just a way to make sure that you can go back and fix things if you needed to without having to redraw stuff or all that kind of fun stuff. Similar to comics, you never say never again, and then after the pain is faded, you start another comic. Dude, those are the words of somebody that likes to make comics, man. They don't make a lot of sense to keep doing them, do they? Unless you're getting paid to do them. Boy, oh boy. It's like once you start one too, your mind starts going like, okay, what's the next one I'm doing? And then that one sounds better than this one. So far so good. Like you said, there goes a free time. Oh yeah, yeah. And I was thinking about that too, man. I'm glad it's been good so far. I realized I paused after that, made it sound like I'm glad it's been good so far. But yeah, I was thinking about that like with the second one, right? It's like okay, so any free time that I'm kind of getting now, that's gone. Got to be stupid to do this, right? So when's the next issue out? Oh, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't. I've said this a whole bunch of times, my man, of like comics. Okay, now it's time to do them. Now it's time to not do them. I find that I usually start gravitating more towards comics, and it's always working with other people because it pays money, right? And I've just I need to stick with the realization that I'm doing this for money, but I enjoy drawing. Does that make sense? So that means the personal stuff I should be doing is like, and this might sound messed up, but like prints, covers for people, stuff like that. But personal things that I want to do is like the stuff that I post all the time, like just doing stuff like this. Here, I'll show you. Um, well, anything in this folder really, but like even this kind of stuff, right? This is the stuff I enjoy doing, but I don't make comics, right? I just do comic art. I do comics. I do comics for other people, but I don't really do them for myself. And the reason for that is it just takes so much time, and I enjoy other things, video games, board games, hanging out with some people sometimes, right? That kind of stuff. That's just the realization. So like sitting down to do my own book, I actually don't have an interest in that. I mean, how do I word that right? I have stories I would like to tell, and comics are wonderful. But time, currently, it's just, and I don't know what fixes it. Not having more kids is probably an easy way, but just trying to get the enjoyment from art in another way. That's all. To me, that's the right way to go for now. There's always someday, right? But when you gotta, people to feed and all that kind of stuff, can't just keep jumping around. If that makes sense. Randy, I think the body of the guitar. Oh, it's definitely too high, my man. Look at this arm. What I'm going to try to do is try to fix this when I go into inks. But yes, it's definitely going to be too high. Hopefully, we can still make it work. You weren't talking about. See, that's the type of stuff you want. Oh, you want print? Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, see, right now, like Etsy too. Like Etsy's the only place that I've tried to sell prints at. I don't. I've seen some things where you can make your own web store and all that kind of stuff. But they like require like a monthly fee, and unless I'm making a like substantial amount, I feel like that's just not the way to. Just doesn't make sense to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Where do you guys go to sell your stuff? And like on Etsy too, right? Like I can just post things, so it's not like it costs me anything to. I think once I hit like a limit of, there's like a set limit of listings you're allowed to have, and then after that you're kind of then you have to pay. So right now it's gravy train. It's all free kind of stuff, right? Like I was saying again, the Gloomhaven stuff that I did, that stuff's been my number one seller, which is great because it shows me that like there is a market there that and board games too. If you guys have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, then this won't be for you. But if people are playing Gloomhaven, they probably have some money. Meaning, sorry, Wouldn't that have been a great way to just end that sentence? They have money. But they have what's the word I'm looking for? It's like throwaway money. Drawing a blank. But they have money that they, I mean, board games or whatever. I think a lot of cats, they just think of like Monopoly, perhaps, but these kinds of board games, right? Like you got a group of people or whatever, and you just like it's like a really good hobby or passion of yours. Um, and I'm definitely in this camp. I've bought in things where it's like this might be a little much for cards and cardboard. But I remember people saying this too, and this is something I've been considering dabbling in too. Is uh, board games are like I think the number I don't know if it's number one, but they're bringing in like massive chunks of cash on Kickstarter and I imagine Indiegogo as well. And when you've got a lot more money coming in like that, you can start hiring better talent, I guess. And a lot of these board games too, man. Like the artwork is just nuts. Like it's great stuff. And I've always thought maybe that might be something to do. Try to check out. See if anybody's interested. Like if anybody's doing any superhero related things, or even the chibi kind of characters that I draw. Maybe there's a market on there to do stuff. All this is to say, like again, going back to the comic book stuff. Like I just don't think comic books is a thing that I should be chasing anymore. And again, not that I've chased it with all my heart and passion. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like well, this is a way to make money when things go bad, which means it's not my thing as much as I enjoy it. I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again. Disposable income. Thank you, Marshall. My man. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. So like again, with Gloomhaven, not everybody. Maybe my prices are too high. But like I said, it's my number one thing, and more often than not, I have a thing you can get where it's all the starting characters for I think $50, and that's the one that's been selling like a lot, which is awesome. And I'm not saying that in a gloating way. I'm just saying that in like it just shows me that there's a pool of people out there that are interested in artwork that maybe you're not getting a lot of. And I think one of the benefits of doing comic books is it forces you to maybe not draw in a certain way, but it's definitely a different way than like concept art or even the illustration stuff you'd get in a board game or on a magic card. Like that's good stuff, but it's not comic book art. And I think that might be an avenue for a lot of people to flex some of their creative abilities. Like even you guys too, right? Like I know a lot of you in here. I've seen a lot of your guys' stuff. Hell, even Marshall, man. Like I remember meeting you. I guess you'd say back in Art and Story, that old ass podcast, and comics. It's different. It's a different skill set, for sure. I think if you learn how to do concept art, that's cool. And I love concept art. And I don't want to put comics in make them sound like they're better than anything else, but more often than not, if you're doing comics, you got to be able to do character design. You got to do a whole bunch of things. You got to wear a lot of hats. And you're probably not going to be amazing at all of them. You might be good at some of it. But one of the biggest things I don't think a lot of people take into account is like simplifying things. If you're drawing comics and you're drawing there's a reason why illustration art and concept art looks so beautiful, right? Like it's so you're gonna send it to like a 3D modeler or something, so it can be highly detailed. But in a comic book, it can't. You're drawing this over and over again, right? Like if you look at the original Iron Man suits, who wants to draw Iron Man? Nobody wants to draw Iron Man. That's why when you see him, right, like in the original stuff, it's just spandex with like some round things that look like bolts, and then you put something like this on here, right? Like okay, there you go, boom, it's metal. That's all you want. You don't got time. You're getting paid per page, right? Not by design. Anyway, I don't even know where the hell I'm rambling with that. Sorry, guys. Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. I was thinking I might. I was gonna say I might throw color on this because the cartoon characters really pop when they're in color, but that's a can of worms. And I'm looking at the time, and so I said this earlier, and I know there's new people in here that might not realize what we're doing here. So these are for Patreon, and I think it's $10 a month or whatever you want. But like for $10, you get access to me drawing a character or whatever you want, right? Within reason, no prawns, and it's just for you. If you want me to post it online, I can do that too. But for $10 an hour, it's supposed to be a bust, right? And for me, I try to value that at like an hour to do that. So I got to be careful when things start, because like drawing is drawing, and once you start getting into the flow and the rhythm, you can kind of get lost in it. So it's troublesome. So the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes you can look at things and go like, okay, well, this could be drawn better, or this should be done that way. And that's not to say that it's an excuse to draw crappy art, but it's just something that I do to keep myself in check. Right? So like even right now, where I'm like, I could just do some color, really make it sing. Eh, let's not. Let's just move this along. Okay, so I would say it's pretty much done. We're gonna do some shading for sure, but what did I have in the original? So we want to do some lighting, right? At least we can fancy it up that way. All right, let's get a perspective ruler in here. Perspective ruler. I mean, we're gonna really make this an extreme perspective. I think I'll also use my dry brush on this one just to get some texture in that. Marshall saying comics is an all-encompassing skill set. I've been focusing more on writing comics lately. Right on, dude. And I don't know what it's been. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's just comics in general. Just I don't know. Like I'm not even really reading comics anymore, man. Are you guys still reading comics? Are there people in here still reading? Like, do you guys still read Marvel, DC stuff? I mean, it's not a slight to them or anything, right? I'm just curious. And I do wonder too, right? Like when you ask that question to artists, you're gonna get a different response than the people that you know, go to comic book shops just to buy their monthly books and stuff. You read old Marvel and new indies generally? Prefer reading comics to movies? Oh, really? Yeah. So I wonder if that's more of a like a testament to if you should be doing comics, or if it's just and there's nothing wrong with. I think if you don't do it or if you do, but like if you find yourself actually reading comics instead of watching movies or playing games or some other hobby. I was making it about myself again for a second here, but the only time I ever really read comics, like, was pumped to go, I think I was in grade like 6, maybe 7, and I was reading Spawn. But yeah, I don't know if it was just the timing of it, or for me it's been like video games is the big thing for me. That's the thing where I'm like, oh, I'll play those all the time, and it's kind of dying off now, which is sad. Like for me anyway, like I like to play video games, like role playing games and stuff, and it's probably just the dad parenting stuff or whatever. And just like, okay, there's just too many things to do and blah blah blah. And I remember, I remember, I was always wondering, like, with dads growing up, I'm like, I'm never gonna stop playing games, like, because dads are always like, what the hell are you always playing this stuff for? Like, do something important. And I never understood that. I'm always like, I don't get it. Like, games are so good. But now I get it. I get why dads just come home. Not all dads. I'm just speaking in generalities here, but they just come home and they just watch sports. It doesn't require anything. You just turn it on and it's there. You just need a little something. And I'm finding too, like, I'm a big role playing guy, man. Like, I love role playing games. And I'm finding now it's like games like Call of Duty, like Warzone and stuff, where I can just turn it on and I can get 10 minutes to 20 minutes of just adrenaline or excitement. I don't have to invest it in anything. Does that make sense? Things that require like a long payoff to get something, it's like, and I know it's all temporary right now. It sounds like doom and gloom, doesn't it? Jesus. Okay, I think it's good. We're gonna go here and we're gonna add like a just a little cast shadow on here. And I don't like putting all this heavy darks in this kind of stuff, but I think it'll help for this. How do I get this out of here? There we go. Turn that off. Just to make her look like she's on, something. And, oh, right. Okay, I don't know how this is going to look, so we're just going to do this quick. Go back here. I'm going to go brush pen. Oh, one sec. Gotta let the cat in. Come back in, Jojo. Come on. Good boy. There you go. There you go. You want to sit on the chair? Come on, Jojo. There you go, big guy. Yeah. We're going to bed soon, okay? Just gotta finish this up. Just make it look like maybe there's like a little bit of spotlights or something. Cool. Okay. And we're going to wrap this up here. Duplicate that. Merge everything. Rasterize it. Turn that off. And we're just going to add a thing of shading. And I think that's it for tonight. I got to just quickly check. So I'm pretty sure that that's everything, but could be wrong. Okay, so for the shading, maybe what we'll do is we'll just go from the top right this time. Let me just duplicate this for myself so I can see it a little better. Oh, look who's here. What wonderful timing. I hope you like it. I'm wrapping this up now, as you can tell. I'll think I'm going to have to send these out tomorrow morning before I start work. Because I'm trying to just jam through the art right now. But yes, I'll send this over to you in the morning. I hope you like it. Well, thank you. I was trying to figure out. I don't know how long you've been watching, but trying to figure out a way to get a little bit of range in here without doing color. Right. That's the trick. Is always trying to figure out how to push just the simple stuff, right? Because it's the Patreon stuff. It's on the well, I don't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole, but it's on the cheaper side. So I just want to make sure people get like the value out of it. With what they're able to afford, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, what we're gonna do too, I'm gonna just quickly put in maybe a little semi-gradient background, just to make sure she pops a little bit more. Let's go with large inking. Get that nice shine in the eyes that everybody loves, right? Cool. See you, Keeman. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, no problem, man. Good luck for tomorrow. The way you said that makes it sound like tomorrow's gonna be super rough. Hope it's alright. Have a good one, man. Okay, I think here. Let's try this out here. Okay, so we go into inks. No, not inks. Lines. We go there. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna erase this, so it's the ground. All right. Then we're gonna use a soft eraser. Let's see how this goes. This is the tricky part. I think, like we did this with the other one too, I think we're going to try the tone on there because the tone looks, I dig it, man. It's got some sexiness to it. It's got some bite, you know what I mean? Okay, I think what's happening here is instead of making it a little blue, let's bring it a little gray. Bring that back together here. Alright, we're going to go there with it. And then let's just find the color we got there. And we're going to try this here. I think we call it after this. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, right. It's going to multiply. Just give a little punch. I think color would detract from this. Looks so badass, Buckwheat. Thanks, dude. Oh, it's definitely got a manga vibe. This is like and I'll just show this again. Not to, I always feel like I gotta say not to gloat whenever I want to show something. I don't know why, but like, because I want the chibi route. To me, chibis are always like, I don't know what's comics. Yeah, okay. I still got a couple of these we got to wrap up, but like the Joker here, right? Like, let's bring this open. Color with the chibi stuff, just it's good. Like, come on, I dig it. You know what I mean? Like, it's got like a freshness to it. And I think it just might be the simplicity of the shapes, right? Like the cartooniness. This has got like there's a rawness to it that I dig, though. To your point, the chibi stuff is just a style, so. You are right. Go lock this in there. I'm really digging adding this the second layer of shadow lately. I feel like it just like it gives it something. I don't know what it is. Especially like back here, I can knock things a little bit further into the background a little bit without having to actually render and do some solid colors. There we go. Can't stop singing these kid songs, man. Alright, I think that's it, man. I think now this is the like next level right here, right? Where you start toning up even the shadow. I don't want to do that. Let's keep it here. Okay, we're gonna sign it up and we'll send this out tomorrow. Bang. Actually, this might be kind of fun. Like, why? Why am I doing this? That looks awful. Okay. Trying to find a spot to put it where you're not like a jerk. Just ruining it with a signature. She got that right. That can't be right on. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. If you're watching the recorded version, thank you as well. And you know, leave comments or anything below. I'll do my best to get back to them. I say this every time we do these. I know they're so sporadic, but I'm trying to figure out a routine here going forward for prints and that kind of thing. But I would like to get like a weekly stream back at least once a week because I do miss those, and there's a lot of value in that stuff. And life's kind of currently in a routine, right? And it'll always change, but I think we should really start abusing that routine and making sure we get some stuff out there. So anyway, thank you guys. I do appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your evening or your day. And until next time, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.